He's from another land. Scotland. What's Scotland? He sounds like he's not from the States.
Scotch Kale Podcast.
Welcome to the Scotch Kale Podcast, sponsored by absolutely nobody. Today I'm joined once again by my good friend Thunderbolt Sky.
Knock knock, guess who's back? It's me.
Now, it may seem like Sky has been on every episode, which is true, but there's reasons behind that. It's a lot easier, honestly, for me to record with Sky because we live together. He lives right across the hall from me. So whenever somebody that I was meant to be recording with is like, can't make it right now, I'm like, well, let's just get Sky in because we always have stuff to talk about.
It's true. Oh man, we were just talking about the other day in the car, remember? We were talking about music.
Yeah, well, because the thing is with me that I have a driver's license from back in the UK, but in the US I don't drive, so I kind of rely on a lot of people to drive me places. I'm kind of lucky that Sky is one of the people that will drive me, but one of the rules when we're in the car is that I control the music, so Sky gets to listen to what I want to listen to.
Yep, it's a fair deal. I drive, and I don't get to choose the music, but that's okay because me and Kyle have similar music taste.
To be fair, I think that I have a pretty wide variety of music that I listen to, and you'll know that from just what we were listening to yesterday in the car.
Oh yeah, like it started out with what?
I don't know. Did it start off with? I think I showed you Dear Evan Hansen.
That's how it started. Yeah, you started off with Pentatonic's cover of Dear Evan Hansen's song.
Yeah, but then obviously like I listened to some like harder rock with like Biffy Clyro, great Scottish band. So it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
But I thought that would be a really good kind of topic of conversation for today would be music, because like movies, it's a thing that loads of people have different opinions on and nobody will ever kind of agree. So I wanted to start off talking about maybe some concerts that you've been to.
Oh, concerts? Oh. I've been to quite a few actually. Have you been to any, Kyle?
I have. I've not been to loads, but I feel like I've seen quite a lot of different artists. I've been to a couple of different festivals throughout my time, but the festivals I've been to are like Scottish festivals.
Oh, nice.
So you'll never have heard of half these people, but
like the Proclaimers?
I have seen the Proclaimers, but it wasn't at a Scottish festival. It was at like a gig somewhere that I don't actually remember loads about it, but I remember seeing them and I was like, great, and then that was it, you know. That's
the only Scottish band I know.
You've heard of? I've played Biffy Clyro to you before.
Yeah, but you never specifically told me that was a Scottish person.
Oh really? Yeah. So
I would never have known.
So the Biffy Clyro is made up of 3 people. Their lead singer, they've got a guitarist, and their drummer, and they're actually from Ayr, Scotland, which is where I went to university. So that's really cool. And actually, the 2 of them are twins, and they are cousins with one of my really good friends.
Oh.
So. But he doesn't really know them, so that's kind of a shame, because, you know, when I was looking to buy front row tickets to their show in Glasgow, I would have hoped that he could have helped me, but that didn't happen, so...
Oh, well.
So tell me a little bit about the very first concert that you went to.
The first concert like I got to like choose to go to, or the first concert I think I ever went to.
So first talk about the first concert you ever went to.
Okay, it was definitely at my local like area at the gazebo at Lake Anna, and it was probably some like cover band.
Okay.
And that's the first concert I kind of remember going to, because it's just a bunch of people on the lawn and people playing music at a gazebo and people selling food behind you. And I remember getting a snow cone, and I like snow cones.
Okay. And that was the highlight of the concert, was the snow cone?
Yeah, because I was probably about 4 or 5.
Okay. Okay. So that was kind of like a very, very, light introduction into live music.
Yeah, I guess so.
But what was then the first concert you chose to go to?
7th grade. I saw it in the newspaper. Weird Al Yankovic was playing at the Akron Civic Center. And I was like, Mom, I really got to go to this. I loved Weird Al. I always had... I had one cassette tape, which was Bad Hair Day.
Okay.
Great album. And listened to it on repeat. I didn't actually buy it. So one of my sister's friends left it behind.
Okay.
And I just chose to never return it. As people do.
Yeah.
And so... like, the day comes, the concert's there. Probably one of the best concerts I've ever seen. I'm not sure because it was my first or not, but just Weird Al in general is just so... He's such a performer. Like, he was doing, like, on stage costume changes. And
he has a lot going on for him.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of him until a couple of years ago. But I really kind of heard of him when I'm a big fan of Hamilton. And he did a Hamilton polka.
Yeah, he did.
And I listened to it, and then I listened to some of his other stuff, and I was like, who is this guy?
Oh my god, yeah. He's probably one of my favorite artists. Even though it's like parody, he's a comedy artist, but like his band, like they have to learn, like he's had the same band since the beginning.
Oh, okay.
So like they have to like actually learn the music, and they're really good and almost like perfect to the songs.
See, I always assumed that Weird Al was just somebody that I just never heard of, because with music, I'm very much into the music I like, and I don't know a lot about other music out there. So I just assumed that it was just somebody that I didn't know. But I spoke to my parents, I want to say last time I was back home, and neither of them had ever heard of him.
Oh.
So I thought he was an international wide. He may well be. I mean, my parents don't know every single last musician in the world, but I was surprised that they didn't know who he was either. So I didn't feel quite as bad when I didn't know who he was.
Yeah, I think that's just what it is with like comedy bands. Like they can kind of get far. Like Flight of the Conchords, they're from New Zealand.
Yeah,
and they're kind of well known.
Yeah,
but like they've also done a lot of other things. Like Brett McKenzie is his name.
Mm-hmm.
He did a lot of the music for Moana. Yeah, no, not Moana. What was it? No, wrong movie. I was thinking of Jermaine Clement. He is in Moana. He's the crab.
Yeah.
Tamatoa. Brett McKenzie did a lot of the music for The Muppets, the one that came out in 2011.
Oh, okay. The one,
Yeah.
like,
Are You a Man or a Muppet? He wrote that.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Wow. So you must have been in 7th grade. See, your whole grading system is completely different to ours.
You want me to tell you my age?
Were you like, let me try and guess, were you like 12 or 13? Is that about right?
That is correct.
The more groups that I work with at camp, the more I kind of start to get what age people are in certain grades. It really doesn't work like that where I'm from. And in Scotland, even in England, it works differently between the two of them. So when Greg's here and he's trying to explain, but he uses English terms, I'm like, Greg, I still don't know what you're talking about because we don't have that where I'm from. Like he's talking about like 12th grade, and I'm like, Greg, we don't have that. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I'm working out the ages. So you're about 12 or 13, your very first concert.
Yeah.
Now, have you had a chance to see Weird Al again since then?
No. I've wanted to, but every time he comes to Cleveland, it's always when like camp is starting, and I'm like, no. And I really thought about like getting the tickets to be like, hey, I already have the tickets, so what are you gonna do? But my conscience wouldn't let me do that.
Yeah, for those of you who have never done camp, we've talked about it a little bit, but it's very much kind of a full-time job during the summer. You don't get a lot of time off. That's okay, because we all know what we're signing up for and we all really love what we do, but it's not as if one night you can just be, I'm going to go to this concert. Your time off is very limited, and you need to really work around kind of a really tight schedule to make any time off valuable.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of people going to concerts during summer season. I know some people that do, but not very often.
No, it's very rare. And they normally ask in advance, like...
Yeah, I know Cody went, our friend Cody, who's worked with us for a good number of years, went to a couple this summer, but you know, I don't know too many other people that went to them.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, right, we've gone from seventh grade to 12, 13. What was next for you?
Oh, jeez. In order, I'm not sure.
Doesn't need to be chronological, but what's kind of come since then, I guess.
I saw a lot of shows at Blossom.
Okay.
Which is, you know, like an outdoor venue. Like, mostly. Like, there's a pavilion.
Yeah,
but like,
I went to Blossom for the first time last year, and it's really cool.
Oh, I love it.
The big field behind is really cool as well. I didn't, you know, kind of expect that. Look, in terms of seating, the capacity is not that big.
No.
But in terms of area that they have to work with, you can get a lot of people in there.
Yeah, because of the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I mostly sit when I see shows. Like, I'm not going to pay extra to sit in a seat. I have a blanket.
I did. When I went, I paid extra to sit in the seat.
Oh, I couldn't stand on the lawn, huh, Kyle?
We wanted to be up close, you know.
Well, I saw a lot of like, multiple bands at once there.
Okay.
I believe I saw Fall Out Boy there. Like, I went with a friend when I see, like, some of these things, because his dad used to work as security there. So he used to give us tickets to go. And that was pretty nice, you know. So, like, teenagers have nothing to do on a Friday night. Get to go to a concert. Pretty sweet.
That's pretty cool.
I saw, like, Fall Out Boy and, like, Blink-182 and... What else I see? I saw Styx there. Great band. Love them. Def Leppard. Gosh, who else? I can't really think much else now at Blossom. But I also saw it other venues, like in Cleveland, at the Q. It's not called that anymore. What's it called now? Can't remember.
So not the Quicken Sloan Arena anymore?
No, it's not.
Is it not?
I don't think so. I think it's changed.
I have no idea.
We'll fact check that later, but...
The last I knew, it was still the Quicken Sloan Arena, but maybe not.
Pretty sure it's changed now. But I used to know it as the Gund Arena. Sick name.
Okay.
But, long story. Who I saw at the Q was, like, I saw the Dewey Brothers there. This is when they did a lot of Moondog. So Moondog used to be a yearly show where they brought in, like, 60s and 70s bands who were, like, have been in the Hall of Fame or, like, nominated to be in the Hall of Fame. I saw, who sings Rubber Band Man? Is that the Spinners? I think so.
I couldn't tell you, man.
Couldn't tell you. I saw them. Rubber Band Man was really cool. I saw Smokey Robinson, you know, Motown legend. Just
and the Bandits.
Yeah, Smokey Robinson and the Bandits. Bachman from Bachman Turner Overdrive, and people were like, Bachman, it's actually pronounced Bachman. I'm like, At that concert, he's like, my name's pronounced Bachman. It was pronounced wrong, and it got stuck, and I hated it. But now that I'm old, I want people to call me by my name. And I was like,
wow.
That's a nice man.
That's really cool. Weirdly, not to do with music, but when I was younger, I did like a work experience type thing in a theatre in Glasgow. And I went, and it was John Cleese, you know, from you know, he was doing a stand-up tour, and I got the chance to go down before and kind of meet him a little bit, and there was other people there, and he was kind of talking, and, you know, one of the things that he said was that the common mistake that people make is that his name is not actually John Cleese. His name is actually John Cheese. Cheese is their family name, but as time went on, the family didn't think that anyone would take them seriously with Cheese as their last name. So it was only like his like great grandfather that changed the name to Cleese. So before that, their last name was Cheese. So like, you know, in terms of history, they're the Cheese family, not the Cleese family, which I thought was really, really, really interesting.
As a comedian, like, you'd want your last name to be like Cheese, right?
You know, you'd think, but he did pretty well for himself, so I don't think.
I guess.
Now, when you were talking about your concerts, you mentioned two right after each other, one being Fall Out Boy and one being Blink-182.
Yeah.
Now, or 182. I say 182, and I don't know why I changed it to say 182, and I don't know which is correct. But I recently heard that they just announced a tour, a worldwide tour that will be Blink-182, Fall Out Boy, and Weezer. which I know Greg is very excited about.
Yeah, Greg is very excited.
I'm not super excited because I'm not really into any of those bands, but the idea of it sounds pretty cool because I know who all three of them are, you know, and I know they're all fairly big bands.
Yeah.
But I know you were disappointed, and I was slightly disappointed because the original rumour for the lineup for that tour was meant to be Weezer, Weird Al, and Tenacious D.
I know, man.
Which for me is a lot more exciting because I have wanted to go and see Weird Al. I think that would just be a crazy concert, and I wanted to see Tenacious D for a long time. I just love Jack Black, you know, and I remember growing up watching the Tenacious D movie, and I just found it so funny, you know. So I was slightly disappointed that didn't come to pass, but you know, maybe one day I'll get to see them all. Weezer's they do Toto by Africa now, and everyone goes crazy about it.
Yeah, they're like, it's a pretty good cover.
They
did a whole bunch of covers. Like, that's the only one that's like really like everyone's like, oh, they did this song, and Weird Al's in their like video for it, I believe.
Yeah. I believe. Don't quote me, but I believe he did it with them.
Yeah.
I remember watching. I want to say it was a music video, and I'm pretty sure he's in it.
Yeah, same.
But I can't say for 100% sure.
As you can tell, me the big Weezer fan over here.
Yeah, they're fine, but I wouldn't like 100% choose to go and watch them. You know.
Yeah.
If they were performing with somebody else, I would watch it, but it wouldn't be my number one choice. Now, my first concert, was actually with both my brothers. And again, it's a Scottish band, and you probably haven't heard of them, but they're called Runrig. Now, for anyone that's Scottish and listening will know who Runrig are, because they're like a massive band in Scotland. And we managed to get down to the front row, push our way in, because it was in a big like field. So we got to, you kind of just nudged your way into places.
Yeah, of course.
And we got all the way down, and it was just one of the most amazing experiences that I've ever had the privilege of being at. And they sing a song which you may have heard of, you may not know it too well, but it's called Loch Lomond.
Wait. I think I have heard of this. At least I've heard of that name before.
Well, I mean, it's a place in Scotland as well, but I'll play it to you later if you haven't heard it. It's a really cool song. It's kind of almost like a Scottish anthem, so they wrote that and performed that, and that was super cool. And then after that, I went to a music festival in Scotland called the Tyree Music Festival, and I got to see a load of different people, but the biggest one that I got to see that meant something to me was Dougie MacLean, which he sings the song Caledonia, which again you may not know, but if you don't, I'll play it to you later. But I know that people in Scotland would. That it's probably in my top 3 favourite songs ever. That song really means a lot to me, and the fact that I got to go and watch it was really, really cool. And then I came to the United States, and I saw some more people over here that people have heard of, which is not too bad. I went to Blossom, like I said before, and I went to see Pentatonics, which was really, really cool. They had 2 people perform with them. The first person that opened was a guy called Callum Scott, who was actually on Britain's Got Talent. He's really well known for one song. It's a cover of Dancing on My Own by Birdie. He does like a slow version of it, and it's really, really cool. And he was phenomenal. He did a really, really good job. And then the group Echo Smith came on, who, again, a lot of people don't know by name, but they sing the I Wish I Could Be Like the Cool Kids song. But I personally really didn't enjoy them. I thought that was the only good song they had, and I didn't even think they performed that well. And then Pentatonics were fantastic. Then I got the chance to go and see Ed Sheeran in Pittsburgh. And Ed Sheeran being one of my favourite artists, I went with my girlfriend Zoe and her mum and her brother, and it was one of the most amazing things, ever. And with them were two British bands as well. So it was kind of a British trio. Performing first was a singer called Anne Marie, who since then has gone on to do like her own tour, and she's really cool. But then after that was a group called Snow Patrol. Who,
I do know Snow Patrol.
Now, Snow Patrol, it was really funny at the concert because we were sitting around a load of people and I knew every single song because Snow Patrol were one of the biggest British bands growing up. Everyone in Britain knows who Snow Patrol are. They were massive, and you know, every song that was coming on, I was like, yeah. And then they started doing stuff from their new album, which I'd never heard, but it was still really good. And there was a girl behind me being like, you know, kind of like, boo, just bring on Ed Sheeran, boo. And I was like, shut your mouth. I was like, you shut your mouth. Because the weird thing is, and I believe we talked about it later in the concert, was that Ed Sheeran did his first ever tour of the US as kind of the performing with Snow Patrol. So he went on Snow Patrol's tour, however long ago it was. So Ed Sheeran wanted to bring, on his first like main tour of the US, he wanted to bring Snow Patrol with them because it was kind of that really cool moment. But they have the one really kind of famous song that everyone knows,
Chasing Cars,
which is a great song. And also happened to be the song that my brother and his wife Chloe walked down the aisle to.
Oh,
that was really nice. And myself and my oldest brother played it and sang it on guitar as they walked down the aisle. It was really scary.
It's like you had to perform at a wedding.
It was really scary. I've done it twice now. I did it for my uncle and his wife.
The same song?
No, what did I do there? We did Highland Cathedral, which is like a Scottish thing, and then we did, I want to say it was All You Need Is Love by the Beatles.
Oh.
And me and both my brothers performed that time, and then me and my oldest brother performed at my middle brother's wedding. And that was really cool, but it's super nerve-wracking.
I was like, that would be nerve-wracking. Like, if you make a mistake, it's like, your brother's never going to, he'll be like, oh. Like, you'll be Christmas dinner and be like, oh, we're having a good time, except for that time when you play that note wrong.
You know,
at my wedding.
Well, the thing is, it's really emotional anyway, you know, like seeing me and my oldest brother were both best men at the wedding. And like right after we were performing, I was going to be going up to like hand the ring over. And the whole thing was really emotional, and I was just trying to like keep it together as we're performing. And we made it through, and they got down there, and like, you know, it all got recorded, and I listened back to it, and I'm like, it doesn't sound too bad, you know. It could have been worse.
What if you were doing it at the wedding, and the girl behind you was like, boo, boo, bring out Ed Sheeran.
That would. I hope not, because behind me was like my aunts and uncles.
That would make it so
and
much
my little
better.
cousins. So if that's what was happening, I'd be really, really disappointed. But the most recent concert though that I actually went to was only a few weeks ago, and I was at the Canfield Festival, which is up near Youngstown, Ohio, and Pentatonics were performing.
Oh, nice.
As well as Jessica Glenn, I believe that's who her name is, and she sings a song. All these people have like one song that everyone knows. Her one is the fight song, you know. This is my fight.
Oh my god, that's her?
That's her.
Oh.
Yeah. So we went there and she performed, and there was talks of like a storm coming in. But Pentatonics came on and started performing, and then like 20 minutes into their set, they were like, we just had a call that we have to get off stage because there's a big storm coming in. They're like, we're really sorry, it's not our choice. And everyone, like, genuinely everyone was like booing because everyone paid like a lot of money for the concert. And a lot of people were thinking, why, you know, it's understandable. It was the very last night of the tour.
Yeah.
So like they understand that Jessica Glenn wanted to perform, but they were also like, people went to see Pentatonics.
Well, they have an opener.
Why did they not just have
storm was
Pentatonics before, if they knew that there was going to be a storm coming?
Yeah.
Which I can understand, you know. it would have been a shame if she hadn't got to perform the last night of the tour, but people paid to go and see Pentatonics, you know?
Yeah.
But everyone was kind of sitting around, because originally they said, we're going to see what happens if we can come back on, but we kind of knew that it wasn't going to happen. But they came back, and they performed Hallelujah. And it was really, I mean, they do that really, really nice. But it was disappointing, because Zoe's mum was there with us this time, and she'd never seen Pentatonics. And me and Zoe, when we saw them, thought it was fantastic. You know, we kind of been bigging them up. But unfortunately, she didn't get the opportunity to see them in full. So hopefully in the future we'll get to go again.
That would be cool. Hey, Kyle, I did bring a guest, and they're about to walk in. Oh, there they are. Oh, it's my unpopular opinion. Hey, welcome. It's my unpopular opinion. I think the song Hallelujah is overhyped and overplayed, and it's just too much.
You know, I can see where you're coming from. It does get played a lot. I will say that Pentatonics do a fantastic cover of it. I'm personally a fan of the... I don't even know if it's the original, because I don't...
Is it the one from Shrek?
Well, who sings the original? Do you know? Because the one... I always consider the original to be Jeff Buckley's version. But I also don't know if that's 100% factual. He's just who I know to have sung it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
So I always compare it to his version, which is fantastic. But I do get what you mean. It does get played a lot. And I mean, I wouldn't say it's up there in my favourite songs ever. You know, it's a nice, sad song. It's meant to make people emotional. You know.
Yeah.
A lot of people perform it. So I can stand by your view there. I don't think that's too unwarranted, because if people want to get people emotional, then that tends to be the song that they'll go for.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's too bad. What, in terms of the future coming, what would be the next concert that you'd like to go and see?
Weird Al, if he comes through Cleveland again, that'd be cool. Oh geez, who else? Guys, like, I never think of like actually going to a concert.
What about Imagine Dragons?
Shut up, Kyle.
Recently, we discovered. So we were in the car, maybe a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And Sky, I think an Imagine Dragons song was playing, or we might have been talking about them, and Sky was like, I only know like 2 Imagine Dragons songs, and Greg and I were in the car at a time with Sky, and we were just like, that's not true. And Sky's like, I don't know any Imagine Dragons songs, and I was like, so I got Sky's phone and I started going through Spotify and started playing all these songs, and Sky was like, yeah, I know that one, and we got through a list of probably close to like 20 songs that Sky does in fact know, that maybe didn't know were by Imagine Dragons.
I just didn't know.
But you know, I'd put on one and he'd be like, I don't know it, and then we'd skip it to the chorus and he'd be like, I know it. So it turns out this guy's a massive Imagine Dragons fan.
Yeah, I love him so much that I don't know any other music by heart until it plays.
I mean, I really wouldn't. For me personally, I really wouldn't be opposed to going to see them in concert. They're probably up there with me right now of people I want to see, because for me in music, I am not a massive fan of like individual bands. I like songs by loads of different people. So it becomes really hard for me to actually want to go to a concert, because I don't know loads of the songs by the people. However, with Imagine Dragons, I discovered that I actually know a lot of songs by them. So if I had to go to a concert and want to like know the songs, I feel like they'd have to be up there for me, just because they've released a lot of kind of popular songs.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know who. I would like to see Ed Sheeran again, but I know he's gone on a music hiatus for a little while. But apart from that, for me, I wouldn't mind seeing the Eagles.
They're good.
I know Ben, our boss at Camp Wainoa, went to see them last year, and he got me a T-shirt from the tour. But again, I don't know loads of songs, but Hotel California is one of my favourite songs of all time, so it'd be really cool to go and hear that. I also totally forgot to say to you that when I was going through the concert I've been to, I forgot to mention one of my, if I had to pick like a favourite band, then this would be them, and I didn't even mention them in my kind of where I've been, which is Biffy Clyro, which are a Scottish band, and if you haven't listened to Biffy Clyro before, go and listen to them. But me and my friend Karina, who's also a massive Biffy Clyro fan, went to Glasgow, and we got front row, and it was awesome. We were actually in one of their music videos because they were recording the concert, and because we were front row and we were right up against the barrier, they were like doing panning shots throughout the concert, and then they released a music video later for one of their newer songs, and it's all from the concert, and there's a moment that you see me, I'll show you later, it's really cool. Awesome. I'm only in it for like a second, 2 seconds, but it's really cool because I'm in that, and it's like one of my favourite bands, so I was pretty happy with that. Okay, well, I think we'll move on from the music, and we'll start to talk about our
favorite subject.
Our favourite subject. Our favourite subject, which is the greatest movie of all time. Now, I've got some updates to give you.
Yeah, I know.
So, Sky was obviously on the last episode with Ben and Greg, and we all put some movies out. Sky went up first, which was E.T. against Pulp Fiction. Ugh. And I can safely say you were pretty destroyed, honestly.
People don't have a heart, Kyle. They just want to see the funny Quentin Tarantino gun and swear word film.
You know, I expected it to be closer than it was. The next battle was between my movie, which was The Shawshank Redemption, against Greg's movie, which was Saving Private Ryan. And again, The Shawshank Redemption kind of destroyed Saving Private Ryan, which I was glad about.
Yeah.
So then we had the grand final for last week, which was The Shawshank Redemption versus Pulp Fiction. And, I mean, not surprisingly to me, because I don't think that they're that close, but I think in terms of the vote, I was kind of surprised that The Shawshank Redemption won by about 15 votes, which is awesome for me because it now means that my movie is back to being number one.
Yeah.
And it means that Sky is now the loser because, you know what, Sky, The Shawshank Redemption is just the better movie than E.T.
I guess it has to be if the people say so.
So, I mean, technically, it's your what? It was 1-1 now between me and you. We both had, because my first one doesn't count. So
yeah.
1-1. E.T. was winner. Now I got the winner. Well, I mean, actually, you could say that it's 2-1 to me because I had to go through 2 battles to get to where I am right now.
Oh, blah blah blah.
Whereas you only had to go through 1 vote, you know. But this could be your redemption time.
All right.
Because you now need to pick a movie that's going to beat The Shawshank Redemption.
You know, I was thinking about it. And I think I'm going to have to say The Green Mile. Another movie about a prison.
Okay.
Tom Hanks. Everybody loves him. It's America's favorite boy. And it's like, it's like not escaping prison. It's like, you don't get to escape. Death row is coming. But also the moral choice of someone who's truly innocent and that you have to make, like, you have to follow what the law is. Because they've been convicted guilty.
That's true. Well, it's similar to Shawshank Redemption. He's convicted guilty for double murder.
Yeah.
But he's not.
And he escapes through the poop tube.
Yeah. So you're just essentially pitting a prison movie against a prison movie.
Yeah. One person escapes and one person doesn't.
It's true.
One person accepts his fate because it's death row. It's the Green Mile.
But I mean, in the Shawshank Redemption, he only doesn't accept his fate because he knows he's innocent.
Well, this guy knows. My guy knows he's innocent.
But he doesn't do anything to get out of there.
He does a lot of things.
Well, he does, but he doesn't get out of there.
Not to get out of there, just to, like, help people.
Yeah.
My guy's just a good guy.
See,
Michael Clark Duncan.
you say that Tom Hanks is like America's sweetheart.
I said America's best boy.
He's the best boy in Forrest Gump, maybe, but not so much in other movies.
Are you telling me you don't like Sheriff Woody?
Well, of course I do.
Are you telling me you didn't like him when he was making toys when he was a kid in a man's body and big?
That is, to be fair, that is a fantastic movie as well. I do love, like, I haven't seen it in a long time, but I'm interested to see what people will vote between, because there are similar movies and they're both kind of themed around the same almost story in a way. You know, they're both wrongly convicted and put in prison, and they both have different journeys in prison, but you know, it's both. So I'll be interested to see what people vote. I'm pretty confident that I'm going to win, and I'll be 2-1 up against this guy, and you'll have to suck it.
Well, we'll just see about that.
But for now, that's going to be the end of this podcast. I hope you guys all go on and vote. Make sure you vote for your favourite. And if you haven't done so already, go onto our YouTube channel, press the subscribe button, and that will really help us with some support, okay? But for now, I'm going to say goodbye to Sky, and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye-bye.